What up, children of the screen? Your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here. It is about 5 in the morning, so we're going to do this one a little bit low key. So as I mentioned in my video for Commundy Challenge earlier, I watched Bright tonight, the Netflix original directed by David Ayer, written by Max Landis, and starring Will Smith. And did I mention it's 5 in the morning? I know that other cat's name who plays the orc, but I can't remember it right now. Anyway, I watched that this evening, and right now, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has like a 28 or a 23 or some kind of a 2 and a squiggle. A really low score. I didn't read any of the reviews until after I watched the movie, but for what it's worth, I really enjoyed the movie. It is by no means a perfect movie. It definitely has problems, but I definitely enjoyed it. I really liked the mix of kind of the alienation, like the movie Alienation, meets kind of a 48 hours, meets Training Day with a little bit of like fairy tale stuff sprinkled on top. For me, that really worked. Uh, it was a lot of fun. That was the main thing, is I just kind of had fun with the movie. Will Smith's character, I think, is a character that on the paper could be really unlikable, but because Will Smith is as charming as he is, while he's still an unlikable character, he manages to make him endearing enough that you want to follow him, or at least I did, which is actually saying something because it's been a while since I actually had fun in a Will Smith movie. Again, the gentleman whose name is I'm blanking on because the 5 in the morning thing, he's fantastic as the orc. Like, they don't give him that much development early on, but like, there's a lot going on in his performance that's unspoken and just behavioral. So I really enjoyed that performance. The movie has been getting a whole lot of criticism. Like I said, it's got a really low Rotten Tomatoes score, and when I started looking into the reviews, I started noticing kind of some trends that I wanted to address. Number one is that, like, I think I only read 2 reviews out of about 20 that didn't spend most of the review talking, either relating this to Suicide Squad or basically trashing it for either not having strong enough political messages or for having too strong of political messages. Whereas when I watched the movie, yeah, like, the kind of social issue stuff that's in the movie, I didn't think was so much in the movie to be like, hey, we're so clever and so progressive and listen to our views on it. It seemed more like they were trying to take a fairy tale idea and update it into the modern world. And because our modern world is saturated with that kind of social issue stuff, where you literally can't turn on your phone without just getting bombarded with it, it would seem unsincere and unrealistic. And the thing in this movie where they're trying to take the fairy tale thing and make it feel grounded in the real world, I think that's the intent behind a lot of those things. And then the other thing is to give an emotional shorthand into characters' point of view that are common to this kind of archetypal story. One of the things I did, and this is actually a valid criticism, however, is that the movie is very formulaic. It follows like a very specific story archetype, and it sticks to that pretty well while still managing to do some really interesting things subverting the movie. A lot of people said they knew what was going to happen, they saw it coming. I did too, but it didn't really take away from my enjoyment of it, just because I'm familiar with these kind of stories and I like seeing those moments done well. Not all of them were done well, but a lot of them were. And then also, the other thing that I noticed as a trend is a lot more of these videos. I watched a couple of video reviews as well as read a couple of reviews, and some of them spent a lot more time talking about the whole new Max Landis allegation thing that I covered in another video, which you can go check out. Like, they spent a lot more time covering that than actually talking about the strengths or weaknesses of the film. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I actually recommend it if you enjoy kind of fantasy action stuff, because that's really what it is more than anything. It's not a social issue movie. It's not like a horror. It's just kind of like a fun David Ayer action movie. Like if you liked Armored or End of Watch or one of those, but you also like monsters and kind of mythical stuff, this will be a great thing for you to go see. Oh yeah, there's one other criticism the movie gets that I wanted to point out. People keep talking about the weak twist in the movie where, spoiler alert guys, big spoiler alert here. No, not that big. I'm going to keep it minimal. Something happens at the end of the movie that people are saying is a twist. However, there is a scene earlier in the movie, pay attention to if you watch it. Will Smith and his partner, they pick up a guy waving around a sword, and he speaks to the orc in Orcish, and he tells him specifically the thing that people are saying is a twist in the end of the movie. Like, it's not a twist, it's set up early on in the movie. So anyway, my criticisms of the movie, there's 3 real quick, just so you know that I'm not just sucking the movie off here. So number 1, I felt that the movie probably could have lost about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes even for a Netflix original movie. For this kind of movie, it felt like there was a little time wasted. Also, the wife character was not nearly developed enough. Like, there's a lot of her in the beginning, and we get a shot of her in the end, but in the middle of the movie, she just totally drops out, making me think that either there used to be a scene there with her that they cut for time, or they're just missing that scene. And if it's cut for time, then you should have cut more of the stuff in the beginning where you build up Will Smith as, like, his family is so important to him, because during all this stuff, it rarely comes up. And then my only other real issue with the movie is, like, yeah, at times the tonal shifts were a little bit awkward. And, no, the biggest thing I had, though, is it's a modern day movie thing. The action was very choppy at points, where I enjoyed all of the action, but I was never lost. I always knew what was going on, but I always wished I could see it a little bit clearer. That would have been nice. But no, yeah, I highly recommend this movie. It is nothing like Suicide Squad. Do not listen to those crazy nut jobs who clearly paid no attention to this movie. It's not the greatest movie ever made, but if you just want to have fun and see kind of like what a D&D world would have looked like if it had evolved into a modern day that kind of slightly resembles ours in some ways, and it's just like a cop shootout story. There's also like a little weird 310 to Yuma stuff in here. It's kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of stuff. And in truth, like, it's been said that innovation is just recalculation. Taking things that already exist and recombining them and remixing them in a way that's fresh. And while I don't think this movie quite gets to that point, I think it is a highly admirable try, and I greatly enjoyed it. Again, thank you very much for watching. Go check out this movie. Have a great night, or morning, since it's, yeah.
Just let it go.